Happy Hanukkah, and welcome to Chabad on Call's Hanukkah program, 8 Nights, Lights, and Insights. Join with us as we celebrate this awesome holiday and discover the deeper meaning behind it. But first, let's get into the Hanukkah spirit.
Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam Asher kiddushanu v'mitzvosav V'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Chanukah.
The tune and words of the brachot, the blessings of the menorah, are truly timeless. We're all familiar with the menorah. It is the symbol of Hanukkah and perhaps even Judaism. But what message does it have for us? Join along with us as we travel to Israel to hear from a rabbi who may not be able to speak in the conventional sense, but has plenty to say.
Hello, my name is Yehoshua, and I'm a deaf rabbi. I live in Israel, where I work with the Jewish deaf community. We host programs and activities for deaf people to be a part of the Jewish community and be inspired by Judaism. I want to talk with you today about Hanukkah. As you know, many years ago, there was a holy temple in Jerusalem, which had a menorah inside. In this special building, they used to light that menorah every single day, and the person who lit it was called the Kohen Gadol, the high priest. Every day he would light this menorah in a special room, and that light spread out beyond the room through a special window. Now, this window was not like other windows in the temple. It was designed so the perimeter angled slightly outward, so it was narrow on the inside, but on the outside it was much wider, so the light inside would spread and shine more brightly to the outside. This was the reason for the design in the Holy Temple in Jerusalem. There's beautiful symbolism here. The light shining out teaches us that every Jew has the capacity to inspire the world around us. We can all become the light for others. I want to share with you a story that I heard many years ago that really moved me, and I think you'll be moved by it too. I once interviewed a deaf Holocaust survivor, and she was telling me about her experience growing up in Europe. She had an older sister who is hearing. The woman I was interviewing was deaf. The two sisters were together throughout terrible experiences in the Holocaust, hiding, escaping, moving, and eventually they ended up in Auschwitz, and they both survived. Many years later, this deaf woman was telling me that she had a conversation with her older hearing sister and had thanked her. "Thank you so much for taking care of me, for keeping me alive, for watching over me. Thank you. Without you, I never would have survived. Thank you." The hearing sister said, "No, it was the other way around. Thank you. Without you, I never would have survived. I promised our parents that I would take care of you no matter what, and I watched over you. I kept my promise to our parents the whole time. Through everything we went through together, through sickness and struggles, I never gave up because I had to keep that promise to our parents. I had to make sure that my little deaf sister stayed alive, so without you, I wouldn't be here." And so the deaf Holocaust survivor that I was interviewing told all this to me, and she said that sometimes I feel thankful to others, but really it was me who helped them. It was really incredible. I didn't realize that sometimes we're looking for light, for inspiration outside, but we forget that we, each of us, really are the light ourselves as well. Happy Hanukkah.
Wow, that was powerful. Each of us has the ability to illuminate the darkness despite any limitations we may face. We now move on to the second night of Hanukkah, and with it, another light. Why is that? Well, 2 nights, 2 lights. That's the simple answer. But there's a very special reason behind this as well. Let's check in with our young friends in the studio to hear more.
Hi, my name is Mishka. And my name is Yankel. We live in Manhattan, New York. Did you know that there's a debate about how many candles we should light for each night of Hanukkah? Yeah, Beis Shammai looks at the potential. How many nights are left? Well, on the first night, 8, on the second night, 7, and so on, all the way down to the last night with 1 candle. But Beis Hillel follows the reality. According to him, on the first night we light 1 candle, on the second night 2, all the way to 8 candles on the final night. Of course we know that we lay according to the opinion of Beis Hillel, adding another light on each day of Hanukkah. But what is the meaning behind this?
As Jews, we live by the rule of Malam B'Kodesh.
Which means to always increase in holiness.
Exactly, and that's why we count upwards, to make sure that we aren't subtracting, but instead always adding more light and goodness to the world.
And how do we do this? Step by step, one light at a time. Just try adding in one new thing that you weren't doing until now, no matter how big or small.
A famous Hasidic elder named Reuven Dayan once said that life is like riding a bicycle uphill. If the rider isn't constantly pedaling, it means he's falling backwards.
So the lesson for us is that we need to pedal.
To always be moving forward and adding light each at our own level.
And through this, we will transform the world to be ready for the coming of Mashiach.
Happy Hanukkah!
Truly inspiring. Let's take a break for a moment and go to arguably everyone's favorite part of Hanukkah, the donuts. We have a live donut competition beginning right now. Choose your contestant and cheer them to the finish line. Wow, that was intense. Now it's your turn. Let's see how fast you are. Grab your donut, cookie, or whatever Hanukkah treat you may have, and get ready, set, go! That was an impressive performance. Now, with food on all of our minds, let's take this to a pro to hear about some unique Hanukkah foods from around the world and the history behind them.
Hi, I'm Shifra Klein. I'm the editor-in-chief of Fleischick's magazine. It's a kosher cooking and lifestyle magazine. I actually have the latest copy here. This is our Hanukkah issue. They come out once a month, and it's all about celebrating the Jewish lifestyle and the kosher lifestyle, and each issue is dedicated to a different time of the year, whether it's Rosh Hashanah, Passover, Hanukkah, and even non-holiday times. Our issues are centered around, for example, kosher travel, comfort food, and things of that nature. And I'm really, really excited to be here today with you. Even though it's virtual, I still feel like I'm in the room with you now, celebrating the upcoming Hanukkah season. And when it comes to planning the magazine, we're always thinking about exciting new foods and what we could present to our audience. And we've done a lot of research about different Jewish foods. And the iconic food of Hanukkah is hands down the latke. And when we think about the latke, which is basically a potato pancake, you think about potatoes. And the interesting thing is that if you look back into history, potatoes and potato pancakes were actually not the foods of Hanukkah. In fact, the Maccabees never saw a potato because potatoes came to Europe after Columbus discovered America in the late 1400s, early 1500s, and the miracle of Hanukkah took place in 164 BCE. The miracle was all about a small group of Jews, the Maccabees, who triumphed against a much larger Greek army. And when they came back to the temple, which was utterly like in shambles, and they came back to rededicate the temple, that's what Hanukkah means. It's about dedication. They want to light the menorah because that was one of the ways that they celebrated, and they didn't have enough oil to light the menorah that would last the time that they needed. There was a miracle that took place, and the light of the menorah lasted for 8 days. And that's why we celebrate by lighting candles for 8 days, and we celebrate by cooking foods in oil to remind us of the oil and the miracle that surrounded it and everything that it represents. The interesting thing about the holiday of Hanukkah is that it's different than other holidays, like let's say Rosh Hashanah, where there's like symbolic foods that we eat. It's an officially ordained holiday. Hanukkah was not like that. And so the earliest mentions of fried foods in Hanukkah come about like in the 1400s in Roman cuisine. And potatoes, as I mentioned, didn't exist then. So what they used to do was they used cheese, ricotta cheese, to make pancakes that looked like this. Well, I think it looked like this. We're not 100% sure. But these beautiful pancakes, which you don't think about on Hanukkah to eat these cheese pancakes, but that was the food that the Roman Jews ate for Hanukkah, and also Spanish Jews as well. And if you look throughout the diaspora and throughout the many different places that Jews were, they each developed their own unique fried treat. A Spanish treat that actually spread to many different countries in North Africa and Turkey as well are buñuelos. I hope I'm pronouncing it correct, but buñuelos means lumps. It actually does look like lumps, but they're these delicious fritters, actually super easy to make, that are soaked in syrup. You see how fluffy and airy it is? It's so delicious. And when they were first made, they actually were just dusted in sugar, but as it traveled to the Middle East, to North Africa, to Greece, which were very much centered around syrupy, honey-based desserts, they took that custom upon themselves. In Turkey, for example, there's this very unique custom where they make a potluck feast the last day. It is called a merenda. And it's just fascinating to look throughout time and see how traditions have evolved to today, us having the latke, the potato, as this iconic Hanukkah symbol. And that came about when potatoes were introduced to Europe, and it became a crop that was a cheap crop and it became accessible. That's why so many Jewish foods are built around the potato. Potato knish, kreplach, potato kugel, and the potato latke. And that has become the symbol of Hanukkah today, because as the Ashkenazi Jews of Europe came to America, they brought this tradition with them. So much so that the latke has now transcended Hanukkah. Go to any Jewish deli in America and you will find a latke being served on a daily basis. And there are so many exciting ways to celebrate this miracle. We have even gone so far as making olive oil cookies or olive oil cake. There's no real way or defined way that you need to celebrate Hanukkah. No matter where you are, there's so many different exciting ways that you could celebrate this amazing holiday filled with light. And I just want to wish you a very light-filled Hanukkah season. And if you want to learn more about this magazine, Fleischiks, you can check fleischiks.com. It was such a joy to be here with you today. And again, I want to wish you a happy Hanukkah.
I don't know about you, but I'm pretty hungry. Anyways, we're all familiar with Yehuda HaMaccabee, the hero of the Hanukkah story. But did you know that women also played a pivotal role? Let's take a listen to a notable and renowned female speaker who will share with us the unique power that women possess.
Happy Hanukkah, dear friends. Hanukkah is a favorite holiday. It's not stressful to prepare for. There are no limitations on what we can eat or where we eat it. It's fun. But it would be a mistake to underestimate its significance and the important lessons for our lives. Like so many of our other holidays, Hanukkah showcases the specific strength of Jewish women. It's always the Jewish women. The heroines of Hanukkah were Yehudit, sister of Mattatyahu the Maccabee, who with incredible courage used her feminine wiles to lure and then slay the Greek Syrian general Holofernes. And then there's Hannah, who defied the orders of the tyrant Antiochus and martyred her 7 sons and herself, rather than succumb to his orders to abandon her God. These women of their day, like the Jewish women of every generation, had a crystal clear vision of what it was they had to do to bring their people to safety, both physically and spiritually. And indeed, it is their remarkable fortitude that assured our thriving existence to this very day. Hanukkah is time for all of us to rededicate ourselves to light over might, to truth over obfuscation, to hope in the face of difficulty, both communal and personal. Especially we Jewish women, we must be the light in the dark tunnel. It's who we are. It's what we are. I'm wishing you all good tidings, joyous news to share, and a very happy Hanukkah.
Nothing short of incredible, risking and even sacrificing their own lives for the continuity of their people. Dreidel, like a top, it's a classic game we play on Hanukkah. It has 4 sides, Nun, Gimel, Hey, and Shin, which stands for Nes Gadol Haya Sham, a great miracle happened there, referring to Israel. In Israel, however, the dreidels actually have the letters Nun, Gimel, Hey, Pei, Nes Gadol Haya Po, because that is where the miracle actually took place. Back in the day, While hiding from the Greeks, learning Torah, Jewish children used to pull out these dreidels and pretend that they were just playing a game to avoid being caught. Today, however, in the United States of America and many other countries around the world, we are free to practice Judaism publicly, openly, not hiding our identity. This is a great blessing. To hear more about this and about how we've stayed strong throughout the years and ultimately came to this freedom now, let's go to Brooklyn, New York, where we will join the director of numerous Chabad outreach programs and initiatives.
Happy Hanukkah from Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters. My name is Rabbi Mendy Kotlarski, and I'm here to celebrate together with you on Hanukkah night number 5. You know, night number 5 is unique because if you have 8 nights and you're lighting up the darkness, number 5 is the tipping point where we have more light than darkness. And this really highlights the world that we live in. We can think back to this past year and all of the hardships that we went through as a people in our personal life. And I'm sure there is a lot of darkness, a lot of hurt, a lot of hardships that we've all been facing. And yet, if we look at the flip side, and we look at the cup half full, or we look at the time when just one more candle, we get to see the world through the prism and through the glasses of the Hanukkah light. No matter where we are, no matter what our situation is, no matter where we find ourselves, we are in control and we have the ability to tap into a place inside of ourselves and elevate ourselves into an illuminated space and the peace of mind for one moment, even one short moment as we celebrate Hanukkah, to think about the parts of our lives that we are grateful for, that we want to say thank you for, whether it's our family, those that are caring for us, as we celebrate now 50 years of the public menorah lighting, when at times Jews had to hide in little corners. The story of Hanukkah, when the Jews had to hide in the caves and make believe they were playing with the dreidel because they were not allowed to study Torah, when people were chasing us, when people wanted to put out our fire, put out our flame, they were going to do away with us as a people. And yet, thousands of years later, we're still here, listening to the Hanukkah message, celebrating the Hanukkah victory, and being able to connect to the Hanukkah light. And so, I want to wish each and every one of you, you should have more and more light. You should be blessed with a refuah shalema, a complete and speedy recovery. You should be blessed by being surrounded with good people that add and elevate you and put you in a good space. But most importantly, to be able to tap into this place that only you control, the place of light inside of yourself, to be able to say thank you for all of the good things and to be able to continue to get better and be happier with the coming of Mashiach Tzidkenu, the righteous Messiah, speedily in our days, when we will usher in an era where there will be no more war, no more darkness, no more sickness, and we will have only good to celebrate together. L'chaim and happy Hanukkah from Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Brooklyn, New York.
We are fortunate to be living in a country that supports our religious beliefs. But even so, it is not always easy being a Jew. Over the past year, Jews everywhere, and especially Jewish students on campus, faced tremendous hardships and adversity. But the result wasn't Jews hiding away. In fact, quite the opposite. We saw a tremendous and very special resurgence and new level of connection unleashed. And all this is somehow connected to, you guessed it, olive oil, the traditional and ideal oil used for kindling the menorah, and the oil that was used in the miracle back in the day. We now go to Manhattan, New York City, to delve into this with a rabbi serving students from NYU and other universities.
Hello, I'm Rabbi Dov Yonah-Korn from Chabad of the Bowery, serving NYU students and other local colleges. Tonight is the 6th night of Hanukkah. There is a theme in Jewish philosophy called Kasis L'Ma'or. What's that mean? It means that an olive, for example, when it is crushed, that's when the oil comes out and we can light the oil. So it's very interesting that this entity performs best when it's crushed or experiences a mini destruction. That's when it actually is able to exude its greatest gift. So too, we're told the Jewish people, unfortunately, some of our best productivity, some of the best oil we have to offer comes when life is hard for us. And we've seen this on campus this year, since October 7th, amongst tremendous anti-Semitism and overall general challenge for the academic culture for students, both in the university and amongst the social community around the university as well. And the Jewish students have come more to Chabad and had more programs and more learning and more kindness and charity and raising and rallies, because the Jewish people have this ability to specifically shine even when things are difficult. And it's one of the lessons of Hanukkah, that the olive oil is the juice that comes from the Jewish people that shines bright even in the darkest of hours. I will end, though, to tell you the real dream is that we should be able to have that same level of greatness without being crushed. And that we should enter a new time where God helps us be the most excellent Jews we could possibly be without the hardship, please God, imminently with Mashiach now.
You heard it here first. The Jewish nation is stronger than ever. Our Hasidic leaders tell us that music is the pen of the soul. So tonight's message will be shared not through words, but through song. Get ready to hear some of your favorite Hanukkah classics, and please join, clap, and sing along with us.
Happy Hanukkah, everybody!
Happy Hanukkah!
My name is Shmuley.
And my name is Shlomo.
I am honored to sing to you today. Happy Hanukkah. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of clay. And when it's dry, ready, oh dreidel, I can play. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel, I can play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel, I can play. Dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. When it's dry and ready, oh dreidel, I can play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. When it's dry and ready, oh dreidel, I can play. Dreidel, 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 I made you out of clay. And when it's dry and ready, oh dreidel, I can play. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. And let's sing the Mosor Yeshua see. Let us sing Mosor Yeshua see. Mosor Yeshua see. L'chana u'l'shabeach. Tikon beis tefila see. L'sham todan ezabeach. L'yeis tachinim albeach. Mitzaram labeach. Azekmor v'shir mizmor. Chanukas hamizbeach. Azekmor v'shir mizmor. Chanukas hamizbeach. There was a time when Jewish people could not celebrate Hanukkah to do it quietly. And we sing for them, appreciating the sacrifice they did that allows us to be here today. Yeshuvasi, Lechano Elishabeya, Ikoim Beis Tefilasi, Rishon Twiddle Izabeya, Beis Tachin Madbeya, Nitzal Amabeya, Azek Mor B'Shir Nidloi, Manukas HaMizbeya, Always love an afshi, the Yagoi Kahikila, Haya Emidu Bikoishi, the Shibud Mabosega, Yadai Hamidaila, Oisias Hasigula, Hilpa Nivechol Fadoi, Yadukivem Bimitula. Shoy Eviani, V'kavshon L'shakateti, V'noi Gil V'Ivani, Izot V'Ovadeti, V'yeinu L'Mosavti, V'imach She'Ovati, Eitz Bavel Z'nu Bavel, V'keshivim Lo Yeshavti, was mit euch, ich sage ben am Dasa, das alle Fach und Moikesh, vegas was nicht Wasser, Loshmini nisesa, wie ich mein Machisa, Loibana kinyana, Allah is the Lisa. Hanim Yizil Alay, Azarim Eshmanim, Fartu Chayim Esmitalay, Vitimu Kol Hashmanim, Minaizar Kan Kanim, Nasaneis Lashishanim, B'nei B'nayim Leishmayna, Kavushir L'nanim, Oy Yakuchecha, V'karayim Yeshua, V'koyim Nikmatam Avodecha, Me'yumar L'shah, Ki Ar'alanu Yeshua, V'yein Ketimei Hara, V'chemoin B'etzel Salmon, V'kumanu Yeshiva, Yeshua, V'yein Ketimei Hara, V'chemoin B'etzel Salmon, V'kumanu Yeshiva. Meine kindische Jahren verbracht. Ay, Welt, ein steht alle Welt. In allen bestimmt alle nicht, alle Kinder lang dort gelacht. Jeden Schabis lag ich, läuft dort, singt Tine gleich. Sitzen unter dem kleinen Bäumelach, auf den stehen lachen Tag. Sabra. Jeder mag gewinnen will. Mein steht alle Welt. Mein Name alle Ruhe. Ich hab die kindische Jahr Sabra. Come light up the door. Let's have a party. Come dance the horror. Lick a little latkes and have some fun. Die, 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 die. Come, sing along and join me. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party and come dance the hora. Gather round the table, let's have a treat. Sivivon to play and latkes to eat. Now while we are playing, the candles are burning low. The one for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. One for each night they shed a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Oh Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party and come dance the hora. Gather round the table, let's have a treat. If you want to play, the latkes to eat. And while we are playing, the candles are burning bright. One for each night, and a sweet light to remind us days long ago. One for each night, they spread a sweet light to remind us of days long ago. Hanukkah, Hanukkah, the menorah. Let's have a party and dance the hora. Gather round the table, let's have a treat. Sivivon to play, latkes to eat. Now while we are playing, candles are burning bright. One for each night, they spread a sweet light. Remind us of days long ago. One for each night, spread a sweet light. Remind us of days long ago. Oy Hanukkah, Yom Tefashene. Allistiker, Afriliche nicht noch Azene. Alle Nacht von Dreidlach spielen mir. Frische heiße Latkes, essen nur das hier. Kinder, Kinder, die Chaneke lichterlich. Sagt alle Nissim, Gott vor die Nissim, und lass mir alle tanzen in Chor. Sagt alle Nissim, mein Gott vor die Nissim, und lass mir alle tanzen in Chor. Sivivon, sof, 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 Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Sivivon, sof, 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 Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Neskado Hayasham, Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Neskado Hayasham, Sivivon, sof, 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 Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Sivivon, sof, sof, sof. Sivivon, sof, 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 Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Sivivon, sof, 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 Hanukkah, Chag Tov, Sivivon, sof, 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 סביבון סוף סוף טוב, חנוכה הוא חג טוב.
Wasn't that amazing? Such great energy. Well, friends, it is now the 8th and final night of Hanukkah, the culmination of this holiday. The number 8 is one above 7, which represents the natural cycle of the universe. 8 represents transcending nature, something that we, the Jewish people, have been doing since our inception. To close out this wonderful program, let's return to the Holy Land, where a Sergeant First Class in the IDF will share with us the significance of this night and the special abilities it gives us, straight from a base in northern Israel.
Hey there, my name is Yossi Blooming. I'm a Sergeant First Class in the IDF. For the better part of about 4 years, I served in the Paratroopers Brigade, and now I have the honor of soon going to be an officer in the brand new Haredi Commando unit here in the IDF in the north. Tonight, the 8th night of Hanukkah, is truly a night like no other. And if we take a step back for a minute and look at other Jewish holidays, we see a theme emerge of the holiday is 7 days. 7 is that defined number. 7 is that default format. Sometimes, when we're lucky, there's this 8th day added on, and we look beyond the fact that it might just be a hiccup in the calendar, and so we add an 8th day to help with the calculations. It's much more than that. 7 is the number God gave and how the cycle of nature works, be it the days of the week, be it the midot, the spiritual attributes that God uses to govern this world. The number 7 represents looking downwards, to nature, to what's defined before us, to the road that's already been paved, and we are sort of defined to go and trot our way along it. But 8th represents lifting your head up and looking to the heavens, looking to God and saying, God, you know what? Behind this 7, behind the nature and the natural, defined, intrinsic order the world and nature has, and it has an order and it's an important order, sometimes we have to look to what comes after. To after that 7 is an 8, and that 8 represents godliness. And so when we look to that godliness, sometimes we can actually unlock the godly, the miraculous. Think the 6-Day War, truly a tremendous challenge in 1967 in the people of Israel's history, in the land of Israel's history, as a proud Jewish nation, something we'll never forget. While the home front command of the IDF, their biggest objective was to help organize mass graves, while school children were learning how to apply a tourniquet and stop mass bleeding, the end was near. The Lubavitcher Rebbe, in the meantime, spiritual leader of the Chabad movement and truly a father of all Jews worldwide, he was busy running a different campaign, a campaign of laying tefillin, of spreading the light of the Shabbat candles, of helping spread the love of a fellow Jew, being a little bit less judgmental, maybe a little more patient. And so the rest is history. Obviously the resounding victory against a trained enemy on multiple fronts. We truly accessed the miraculous. Because when we look upwards and we look beyond, what they call it in Hebrew, the Dal Damot, almost this little 4-foot space, this little 4-foot mind of ours sometimes, we realize there's so much more. We aren't just defined by nature. We aren't confined by that. We can tap deeper into ourselves, into the godliness into ourselves, and connect to what goes beyond the world. And so I bless us, I bless myself, bless my soldiers and the men above and below me in the chain of command, as well as all of Am Yisrael this Hanukkah, that we challenge the nature in ourselves. We don't have to run a multi-front campaign. We don't have to win any giant wars and, offensives in the Middle East. We have to look to the nature in ourselves. And it might be the habits, might be the behavioral structures we've built for ourselves, might be the things that we look to ourselves and we say, this is my nature. This is what I am. This is what I'm confined to. Might be my temper. Might be between me and my spouse. Might be my lack of patience. Might be my lack of investment. Might be too much or too little between me and my child, or me and my commander, even me and myself when I look in the mirror, or between me and God. The challenge now and the ability now and the gift of this day is to look at ourselves and say, I'm no longer confined by that. I'm looking to the heavens. I'm not looking down. I'm looking up. And I'm looking up, and I'm going to challenge and go beyond this 7, these limitations, and I'm going to access a miracle that is beyond not only the world's nature, but my own nature. And I'm going to be better on this 8th day than I ever was before. God bless you all. May we see the final redemption very soon.
And there you have it. 8 nights, 8 lights, 8 incredible insights. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope this program uplifted and inspired you, and we wish you happiness, the best of health, and only revealed good in your life. May the light of Hanukkah shine brightly throughout your entire year to come and beyond, and may we all celebrate together with the ultimate redemption, the coming of the Messiah now. Happy Hanukkah!